In this video today, I am going to tidy up our dining room. There's stuff on the floor, the table, and there's a pocket of art supplies in the corner because I took the shelf that used to be there and I moved it to a different location in the house, and then I just left everything that was on that shelf there on the floor. I call it a clutter avalanche, where you do one thing and then it causes clutter in another way, and so on and so forth. It avalanches throughout your home when you make a decision. Today I want to talk about the big 3 reasons that our dining room is looking like this right now. And I'm in a season of life right now where I feel like a lot of things are changing with my kids. Their ages 12, 11, and 9. Their interests are changing. We're leaning more into different kinds of art supplies, different kinds of activities. And so the clutter in our house is in this weird gray middle space where we're letting go of a lot of things. For example, my 11-year-old daughter is putting her makeup on her dolls. So she has makeup that she's allowed to wear for certain things in certain ways, and then she's also using it on her dolls. So she's in that middle stage where she hasn't let go of dolls, but she's starting to embrace the next phase of her life wearing makeup. My sons have migrated sort of away from train tracks into Crunch Labs boxes and giant Lego sets. And so the clutter's just changing as the kids are changing. My clutter changes as I take on new hobbies. And so when I look at this dining room is loved in. I have to remind myself, our house is lived in and loved in. Welcome to this video today. My name is Erica Lucas, and on this channel, I share videos about decluttering, organizing, and cleaning in real life manageable ways. Some days I just attack stuff and I clean it up, I tidy it, and I put it away. And sometimes when a room gets like this, I tend to ignore it for longer than I really want to and save it for a day that I have the energy and the time to deal with it. And in between that space, between when I'm looking at it and it's calling my name and the day I actually deal with it, I spend a lot of time thinking about why it's like that and what might need to change so it doesn't repeat that volume of clutter on its surface. And 3 things really jumped out at me as reasons that this dining room got cluttered in a short period of time. 1, there's just too much stuff. There's just too much stuff in here. There's got to be trash or things I can donate from this room. The second thing is that these items don't have a home, so they just end up on the closest surface possible. And the third reason that jumped out at me about this particular room today were the habits that we do. We, all 5 of us in my house, tend to take the shortcut when it comes to putting stuff away. We put it the closest location and tell ourselves we're going to put it away later. And we don't. Holler at me in the comments if this is happening in your house too, where you put it on a surface and convince yourself that you're going to come back and put it away later, and you don't. And clutter magnetizes quickly. And I think that's what happened in this room, because I just did this room 2 weeks ago and it was great. And it got out of control super fast. Usually our dining room table has 3 big purposes. 1, we eat food here together. 2, somebody's always got a puzzle going. So I actually got this puzzle board that moves around so we can eat dinner here. And the third thing is that we play a lot of board games here when the surface is clear. So that's a everyday rotational use of this room and this table. And because of that reason, we're in this room a lot. I was trying to figure out how to tackle this, and I really didn't want to start with the table. I felt overwhelmed by the number of things on the table. So I decided to start off with a category, and that was the art supplies in the corner. I knew I wanted them centralized and easier to store and get in and out. So I had an empty basket in my living room that I decided to repurpose into this room. And what I did was just went through all of the art supplies that were here. They used to be organized individually on the shelves, and that was when the kids were younger. We had friends over and they were just working on certain crafts. But nowadays, when they're doing any kind of art projects themselves or with their friends, it's super intentional. They know they only need watercolor paints. They only need certain crayons, only need certain sketching pencils. In my head, I knew that I could streamline all of this down to one basket. I also knew I wanted to streamline it all down to one basket and maybe get rid of some stuff in the process. And so by pulling everything into a smaller way to organize. So I changed from the Container Store like shoe size boxes into Ziploc bags. Everything fit into the basket a lot easier. And then I decided I knew it would just sit here until I gave it a home, an actual place where it lives. And so I decided to put it next to their school desk. This is a desk that the kids have in the dining room. The tray pulls out for the laptop and they slide a chair over and they attend their classes or they do their writing or whatever it is they need to do for school. And so I put the art basket next to it because visually it's out of the way. It's now home. And then I tucked the poster board behind that. Just tackling that art corner gave me a pile of trash. There was a markers container that smelled really bad. I'm not sure what it was. So I threw that whole thing out, including the markers. And then I had the dried up wipes that they use for painting. They're really no good now, so I threw those out. And just some random like art things that were either broken or we just didn't use anymore. And then I ended up with a stack of empty bins that I'm thinking I might repurpose into our pantry. I could even tack a fourth reason that I have clutter in this room right now, and it's just time. The time to deal with stuff is just not there right now. These photographs came from my mom's house. My dad is redoing it on the inside and invited me to take any of the pictures off the wall that I wanted. So I have a stack of those that I literally came home from my dad's and just put it directly onto the table because clutter begets clutter. I've got these Crunch Lab boxes that my boys put together. There's some Girl Scout supplies of my daughter's troop leader right now. There's miscellaneous paper. There's a puzzle underneath all of this. It was the only thing on this table before. I do like to leave our puzzle board because someone's always working on a puzzle in our house. I think I actually want to designate a spot in my house that is like a puzzle corner with a table that is dedicated to puzzle making. I love this board. It's a swivel board and it has 4 trays on the side so you can organize the pieces, but it really does live here on this table unless we're playing a game or eating here. It just gets moved onto another surface when those activities happen and then moved back on here. It's why I bought it, so that it was movable. And right now in this season of life, the age of my kids, there's my puzzle like my kids gave me for Mother's Day. This season of life, we're doing a lot of puzzles and I want to lean into it. So I think I need a table. I do have like folding tables. I think I need to set up a spot in my house for puzzling so that this board doesn't have to move around. And maybe when it's on this table, it is attracting more clutter. Maybe that is something that's happening here too, symptomatic, right? So I've been kind of thinking about that a little bit, a cozy little corner with a table with a puzzle going all the time, and also a spot where all the puzzles that we have could be stored. They're on 2 shelves in the room that's next to this room, the kids' room. There's a lot of shelves in there, and there was 2 shelves for space for puzzles. So all of my puzzles are organized together. I'm thinking about a way to change my house right now. My boys have a folding table in their bedroom that they use for building Legos and the Crunch Lab kits. And my youngest son started 2 of his kits here just because he was excited when they came in the mail. And so I'm just moving them up to their room on their Tinker table, and then this binder of Pokemon cards also belongs in their room. Our printer lives in this room on the cedar chest that's right on the side in the dining room. So all I really want on top of the cedar chest is the printer, the paper, and the ink supplies. I really don't love that it's in the dining room on the cedar chest, but I don't have another spot in the house right now that I can make work. So that's where it lives now, and I just want to there's more stuff that's on the cedar chest that I need to attend to and get to its right home or to the trash bag. And then just make it look a little more intentional. Like this is the area for the printer. I don't know what they're called, but those orange bracket thingies were used to fix the kid's desk. And they should have just been put back into the garage. Again, going towards that reason of habits of putting things where they belong. Don't put things down, put them away. Something that might take 10 seconds for you to do, it takes 2 seconds for you to put it on a surface that it doesn't belong and 10 seconds to put it where it does belong. Those kinds of things, yes, they make sense. And when I say them, I agree with them. But in the moment, all 5 of us in this household, we take the easy road and put it on the closest surface. Did you see the shock in my face when I pulled the puzzle board over? I did not know that I have been looking for their Scouts vests and their Scout sashes. There they were under the puzzle board because the puzzle board got moved over in order to make room for more stuff. If I have learned anything about clutter over the last 7 years, it's that you've got to give yourself grace when it comes to stuff and just recognize the reasons and give yourself grace and forgiveness. And the reasons today that this room, I really gave it some thought why this happened. I'm sure it'll happen again because it has in the past. Knowing the reasons can help you understand your own house in your own ways and develop systems that might work better for you on where things go. Like this puzzle board, I'm questioning its location here on this table because maybe that did attract more clutter inside of 2 weeks, and I just need to designate a different table in the house for the puzzles. And finding a balance between doing stuff that we enjoy. So puzzles, it's hard to put a giant puzzle away without finishing it, and making space for these new activities and new hobbies means other space has to be let go of to make that happen. And striving for that balance of what you want to keep and what you want to get rid of. That's the essence of decluttering and living and managing your stuff in a home. And organization systems can help with that. And paying attention to your habits and your reasons also can help you with that. And then just dealing with it in small doses. My One Shelf Sunday series really resonates with a lot of people because it's manageable. It's a small surface, one shelf, one bin, one category, one drawer, one section of your couch. So every Sunday I do that and I share that, and thousands of people are connecting with that concept because it helps. It's relatable. It's real life. I can no longer tackle my whole house. Clean the whole house or declutter the whole house in a short period of time. There's no way. I can't do that anymore. So doing it in small doses and then accumulating enough garbage or things to donate so that you're dealing with less stuff makes it easier to maintain. And then resetting the surfaces that you've cleaned. So all the surfaces that I've done for One Shelf Sunday have been very easy to reset. And that speaks to the habits of putting things away and not down. And over time, the whole thing just gets easier. You get into a rhythm. So here's the corner where all the art stuff lived as a dumping ground when I moved that shelf. Now the shelf on the wall doesn't have anything anchored into it, but that's okay. We're not here for that today. Then the desk over there on the left with the art basket behind it. Now just the puzzle on the dining room table. I reset this printer area to be more intentional. It's just printer stuff. That's it. I don't love it, but it has a job. It has a purpose. That surface has a purpose. And here's the art basket off to the side that is corralling all the things they actually still use. And then the puzzle as an invitation to sit down together and work on a puzzle. And then these are our homeschool cards for my 3 kids. This is a separate project. I cannot tackle this today. I just got to change it over for the next grades. I'll leave a link below to a blog post listing 21 reasons you might have clutter in your home to help you understand yourself and your home a little bit better. Thanks for spending time with me here today in this video. I hope you're doing well. Here's another video to watch next.